We shall overcome.
Hey, what a game, what a game, what a game. Everybody, thank you for joining us for week 4 post-game show. There's a lot of positives in this game, but two things that did not go the way that I thought it was. And the tackling today was absolutely atrocious. That's first and foremost. That was embarrassing to see the poor tackling that allowed so many yards after the catch. Heineke was absolutely awful. I'm just gonna be real. He was absolutely awful. Even the touchdown that he threw, that was a whiffle. I mean, the ball was fluttering like a damn balloon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how the hell you allow this guy after you holding him in the end zone and you allow him to get in front of you and catch the ball. That was not a very good throw. Not only that, but I don't know how many. Let me just start with the offense. I'm gonna let y'all have. I want y'all to handle the defensive side of the ball because I got some problems with the offensive side of the ball. And it's one guy that I put out a video earlier yesterday, and I said I need for this guy to show his dominance. And today, I don't know what the hell was wrong with him. It is embarrassing to have that much skill and you can't catch one damn ball. You're running sideways. You're running. I just like he was about to hit a flip, a back flip. I don't know what the hell he was calling himself doing. How are you making $15 million a year? You a Pro Bowler, and you running backwards. You can't catch balls that's coming straight to you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about Mr. Calvin Ridley. That out of everything that I saw today, I'm more pissed off than with that. I am the most pissed off with that. And excuse me, but this has to be said. We say this all the time. Guys who are making the big money got to step up in big moments. And this guy looked like he was running. Look, my nephew was scared of those, the little beam lights. He would run like hell when he see a beam light. And that's what the hell Calvin Ridley was doing. He was like, That's what he doing. What the hell is wrong with you, guy? What is the problem? Is it you afraid of contract? Are you afraid to be the number one? Are you afraid of Arthur Smith? Are you afraid of Arthur Blank? What is the damn problem? Why can't he's dropping simple slant plays? It doesn't matter how he's dropping it. He's just everything he's doing wrong. He's got so many chances to do something, and he's not stepping up at all. That's what I am most like. You see the offensive line. The offensive line played absolutely amazing today. Again, Drew, when we said the first game, after the first game we came back, Tampa Bay, we said the offense. What did Todd Bowles have to do? They weren't getting home, so they start sending everybody. And this is the time they did the exact same thing today. So the offensive line did an amazing job. But Calvin Ridley, your ass, look, I'm just going to say this right now, and I'm going to say it. This is the last time I'm going to say this. I am not giving him 100. I'm not giving him a second contract. You cannot continuously have this. It is embarrassing for you to be a first rounder and your ass is afraid to go straight up the. All you got to do is go straight. We're not asking you to get a bit to take a hit. Just go straight. And he's not even doing that. So just go ahead. Go ahead. I'm so embarrassed to be a Falcons fan to see. I'm so embarrassed to be a Falcon fan and to see Calvin Ridley playing like an absolute coward.
Hold on, we gotta hit these super chats up before we do all that, man. The Matty Ghost came up here. He said, "We played well." Well, let me do it right. $5 super chat. Holla, holla, holla. Said we played well. A bogus call at the end. Dropped 8 INTs. Hurt again. No pass rush in the fourth quarter. Matt Ryan was an A+. Definitely agree on that one. You can't really put the blame on him. It wasn't. He did everything he could.
Not even the whole team. Like I said, that this game was a big time player moment.
Mm-hmm.
Grady Jarrett stepped up, but he can't do it all. We needed somebody else on that defensive side of the ball to step up. Nobody stepped up. Grady did his thing. But these are the things that we're talking about. Calvin Ridley in key moments. And like I said, I'm sorry if I'm long-winded, but I am so upset with Calvin Ridley. I've never been so upset with a player that has so much talent. And I apologize. I go ahead. I'm so sorry for that.
We got plenty more. Hey, we got plenty more super chats to go through, man. Cause Breezy Crips, I guess he agreed with you. He gave with the $4.99 super chat. Holla, holla. He said, "Preach, Mike, preach."
We got to demand more of our star players. Matt Ryan and Grady did that thing. I mean, I'm not Dion missed a tackle, but he did his thing. He allowed, even on a couple of plays, he was getting out the quarterback. He was doing. I don't get mad at drop, tackles and whatnot. So I can forgive that. But when you making simple things, you should have simple things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mr. Beasley with the $1.99 super chat said this game might have put the nail in the coffin as a fan. Well, nobody's really holding you to the fire. Like I said, you can jump off as quick as you want to. At the end of the day, we still here regardless. Weezy B came with the $4.99 super chat. He said DBs catch the damn ball and close out the game. Green was so lost on that duck ball. And I'm going to say, God damn. We got
they ain't gonna get to say nothing.
Let's get it, GA with the $5 super chat. Said we choked. Calvin Ridley is not that dude. No pass rush as usual. We gave that game away. I'm gonna go ahead and go next with this one because I know Jew usually goes next, but I'm gonna go next on this. The story of this game was missed opportunities. What I mean by missed opportunities, we had at least 3 interceptions that could have been obtained. All 3 of them dropped led to 10 points. Deron Harmon had one in the end zone that he dropped. Eric Harris had another one that he dropped.
Eric Harris had 2. Dropped 2.
Hold on. Let me take that back. 2. So that's 3. Like you said, these 3 interceptions led to 13 points. These 3 dropped interceptions led to 13 points. Pass rush didn't get there. I'm sorry, but Tyler Davison's ass need to get the fuck up out.
He got to go. He got
to go, bro. I don't know what the hell his role is on this team anymore. He's supposed to be the run stuffer, motherfucker. We be forgetting he's even on the field.
That was embarrassing to see him get. He got ran and go ahead. Oh my God.
I'm just saying that was just bad. And bruh, this was a court info, and like I said, and I prayed to the football guys on Tuesday. I was like, let's get Hayden Hurst involved in this game, and we got him involved. Mm-hmm. We got Kyle Pitts involved. Cordero Patterson, we should be celebrating a win right now. Cordero Patterson had the game of the week. Ain't nowhere in hell we supposed to be losing this game. The Washington football team missed 2 extra point field goals. Let me repeat that again. 2 extra points that were missed. But the problem came to it is, and like I said, and Mike, Jew, we had it in the chat earlier. I think the new phrase for this team this year is gonna be catch the damn ball. That's gonna be the new phrase this year. Catch the damn ball for one. because, bro, I don't even know how the hell, bro. It was like everybody was dropping passes. I saw Calvin Ridley dropping passes. I saw Alameda Zaccheaus dropping passes. Like I
Wide
said,
open passes.
and that, like I said, yeah,
Non-contested. Just oh my
right,
God.
right.
All right, let you and Ivan go. Go ahead.
We got a $10 super chat here, bro. We gotta get to. Terry Lloyd said, at the end of the day, Arthur Smith was playing not to lose. Cordell Patterson
not
is your
too
best running
whatsoever.
back, your best wide receiver. He should have been in. Another wasted performance from Matt. And
No,
that's the thing.
that's not true whatsoever. That man had a brilliant call game. At some point, as a defense, you got to step up. Thought when you score 25 plus points, that he did his job. It's a team game. You know what I'm saying? But Ivan, go ahead. Y'all get y'all.
Yeah, man. Basically, with this one, as far as offensively, obviously Patterson had an amazing game today with those 3 touchdowns. Out there playing like a very, very competent receiver. Those drops obviously killed us, but defensively, losing Isaiah Oliver was huge. Not entirely sure if everyone knows this, but how tight a Nick Group, Foye, Isaiah Oliver, and JTM are. JTM getting healthy scratch, losing Oliver early in the game. That was everything for the defense. I mean, where was that situational defense of last week? Absolutely gone. Nothing like last week. Obviously, you got those missed opportunities. Eric Harris, I believe it was 2. They may count that third because he was that diving one on the sideline. But man, we've got to come away with some type of situational pass rush at the end. Fowler could not bring down Heineke. That was huge. Obviously, TJ Green should have made a better play on that ball, but man, the pass rush was absent today. Obviously those opportunities costed us huge. Got to say also that losing Nizialik there, that turned out to be bigger than I would have thought, considering he's been kind of inconsistent to start the season. But man, that turned out to be huge as well.
Go ahead, Jude.
Yeah, man. I completely agree. First, let's get to this $10 super chat because K-Style stepped away for a second. It says, you need me instead of Tyler Davison. I guess this is supposed to be a joke. I can stop the run, pass rush, and catch interception. On offense, you need an all-around man like me. Tat McKinley, as a.k.a. Tweety Bird. We appreciate the $10 super chat. But where do I start to unpack this game? I mean, K-Styles hit the nail on the head. What's my favorite line, Mike? Mike talked about it on the Saturday show with the Saturday guys. Those 3 to 4 to 5 opportunities that you let slip away. K-Styles was just talking about it. It's blown opportunities. 2 interceptions dropped by Harris. That would have took points off the board. Dante Fowler Jr. Y'all know that's my guy. That's my dog.
That's 2 sacks.
When he missed that sack, that's when Taylor Heineke threw that touchdown to McLaurin. So that's on Dante Fowler. When you got him wrapped up, you have to finish the play. He's supposed to be the top dog in that room. Other than Grady, he's the top dog when it comes to coming off the edge. You got to bring him down on that play. He don't throw that touchdown if you bring him down on that sack. Just so many blown opportunities in this game. I mean, the sacks, the interceptions, Cam Nazalek getting hurt, Isaiah Oliver getting hurt. That was huge because you had to throw Avery Williams in the game, who's a guy that doesn't usually play with the first unit, and it showed. I mean, another thing, Mike talked about the tackling. Isaiah Oliver is a sure tackler. Deion Jones on that last play with McKissick. How many times have we seen Deion Jones in one-on-one situations with a running back completely annihilate the running back? In this situation, him and McKissick were the only guys on the left side of the field at that time. So it was like if he didn't come down with that tackle, which he missed that game-winning, basically, or touchdown saving tackle, McKissick was able to scamper up the sideline wide open. They was in man-to-man coverage. So Deion Jones to be a top linebacker, Mike talked about it. You have to make that play. He's one of the defensive leaders. It's no excuse. Calvin Ridley on the offensive side of the ball. Mike talked about this a little bit earlier. My problem with Calvin Ridley not only is because he's the top dog as far as the wide receiver, but when you drop passes that are wide open in your hands, it's deflating and it's something that carries over to the other guys. You seen after he had that first drop, Kyle Pitts dropped one. Then Zaccheaus dropped one because they're looking at him like if he's the star player and he's dropping passes, it starts to get into your mental. So it's just like you can't have the missed opportunities. This could have easily been a blowout for our team if they come down with those interceptions. And if they do it, I had the score at as 30-17 was my score, my prediction. We got to 30 points, and we could have easily held them to that 17 if we make the plays that were there to be made. I talked about in my pregame on my preview show, Taylor Heinicke would throw the ball in tight windows. He will give you opportunities for interceptions. We had 3 easy interceptions in our hands, and we let them slip away. So the game, they always say it's a game of inches, and it was surely a game of inches today. I mean, we've seen it. Those small, intricate details that Mike always talks about, you have to be focused. You have to do the small things. When you have a chance for an interception, I talked about it in my preview show. No interceptions this year for our Falcons. That's a big deal. You need those takeaways because you put your team in plus territory. How many times I would say we have to win the field position? You get those interceptions, it's huge, especially without a punter, because we lost Cam Neasy. So you lose your punter. If you come down with an interception, you don't have to worry about it. You're right there in plus territory. You give Matt Ryan and that offense a chance to double up those points. But how many times have we seen in this game Matt Ryan and the offense going 80 yards, 90 yards for a touchdown, 15-play drives, 16-play drives? You can't make a steady diet on doing that. You have to at some point get some type of turnover and give them a chance to double up those points. But, I mean, in this game, what we're seeing from this Falcons team is inconsistency. We've talked about it. And K-Styles talked about 60 minutes. You have to be consistent. We can't keep having this up and down, up and down, up and down, where 1 week the defense plays well, 1 week the offense plays well. We got to put it all together. Everybody got to be on the string. If we don't put it together, you're not going to be able to consistently win games.
Let me say something about that last touchdown that Washington got. In reality, y'all better be glad it was a damn touchdown and not so much, because we wouldn't have had a chance to goddamn even try to get back in the game. But if you look closely at that play, they called the right defense because that zone defense, the zone was not the Falcons' friend today. The zones were not their friends. If you look at that last play, the reason why McKissick got open was because the guy that was supposed to be manning him up went after Heinicke, which put Dion in that position to where he had to make that play. Dion was already at a disadvantage because he didn't have no leverage.
He running sideways.
He didn't have no leverage whatsoever. But
he still get no excuse from me, though, because I hold deep. I don't mean to cut y'all K-Styles. I just want to say he don't get no excuse because you're a playmaker. When you're a playmaker and I've seen you make that a routine play for you, you got to make that play in a game crunching situation. But I hear what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he'll get some blame too, because there was a couple plays in that second, in that I would say in that third quarter that he missed out on too.
Fourier made some horrible plays today. Like I said,
the whole defense made some horrible. I was gonna say Eric Harris was the main one on defense making a lot of plays today until he dropped that damn interception that he had. Like you said, like the one with TJ Green, which I was talking about. Like you said, TJ Green was out of position, but Eric Harris should have came down with it. And like I said, I've been preaching all offseason about running the damn ball. We ain't getting no balance today. I think that was one of the main issues. We're not, like, in what Ju was talking about with the consistency. We're not seeing consistency as far as balance. See, now we're kind of reverting back to where we were last year, as in throwing this ball maybe 40-something times a game. Yeah, but I would say I would take it this year because it's not throwing no dangerous passes. There's a difference. Like I say, it'd be one thing if you was throwing 40 passes and 65% of them was in the middle of the field. You taking what the defense is giving you. That's what Matt Ryan doing, taking what the defense giving them. And Mike, I know we're gonna talk about this later, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this out now.
Mm-hmm.
It's 18 seconds left on the clock. Why the hell the next play take the 1 second? And we ain't even gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the pass interference call that was rescinded on Calvin Ridley. That may be the only thing Calvin Ridley did good today was draw some pass interference calls. But
that's oh my God.
Like I said, everything that could have possibly went wrong today went wrong. Like I said, we didn't make the plays when we need to. And the thing I think that really killed, like I said, one of the 4 or 5 plays Jews talk about, there's 2 of them. The 2-point conversion that we didn't convert on, and the field goal on the first drive. Like I said, those plays don't necessarily show up right away. But when it comes time to the end of the game and you're losing, those 2 types of situations come through.
Let me say this real quick, though. I hear that, but I thought the biggest play that killed all the momentum in the game is when Calvin Ridley dropped that pass down the middle. He was wide. He had the man beat. All he had to do was go up, put his body on the line. That's exactly what I said in the video. You can check it out. All right. I dropped it yesterday. He did not go. You have to put your body on the line. You got to come down with that play. This is what we're talking about. What Drew said. Excuses when we talk about our superstar players. And Ivan, let me get your take on it. But our superstar players got to. I look. I know Eric Harris. He should have made those plays. But when we got our superstars, the superstars better set. They got to set the mark. They have to set the tempo. We cannot have Calvin really dropping easy passes. That's an easy pass for any top wide receiver. If I got D Hopkins catching the ball over 4 guys, 3 guys, it don't matter. If he can do it, I need Calvin Ridley to do that. He is our star. If I'm Matt Ryan, okay, this is another game where we got to look at Matt Ryan and say, all right, Matt, can you save me? Dante Fowler, he had 2 sacks on Heineke. He got there. So it wasn't the fact that he did not get pressure. Dean Pease got the pressure. But again, what you were saying, them 3 to 4 plays during the game, and we got to start holding our stars accountable. We got to start holding those guys. Look, Eric Harris, he should have got those, but Dion got to make that tackle. Calvin really got to get that catch. He cannot have that. He cannot drop easy passes. OZ dropped a wide open pass. That was a momentum killer. Can't have that. So, Ivan, what you got, bro?
Man, I'll tell you what. Today's game was the first time that I missed number 11. The first game. Because he comes down with those balls. And I hate having to admit that because, you know, Calvin Ridley was supposed to step up, and he's yet to do so. I'll be honest with you, man. There's a lot of negatives to take away from this game, but as far as, you know, the positives, if you guys are ready to get there, man. Obviously, the offensive line, they stepped up huge. You know, Jalen Mayfield out there getting pancakes on that first drive. Got that holding call to stall out that first drive was huge, man. He got a pancake. I don't know what the hell the refs were seeing there. But that's for another story. That's another story, man. Although I would like to see, you know, Hennessy like get to that second level a little bit more aggressively on that Patterson run right up the middle, man. And it would have been 1-on-1 on the safety if he was able to, you know, get there just a split second sooner. It would have been 1-on-1 with the safety, man. McGarry, I've been getting on him all week, but he stepped up today. There really wasn't a whole lot of pressure on Matt Ryan today, and he had plenty of time. The receivers, man, they got to come down with the balls when they come their way. They got their hands on it way too many times, and they hit the ground. Ridley was obviously super disappointing, and he dropped in those Madden ratings last week. I expect another drop this week.
Yeah, we just got to learn how to finish. That's it. I mean, that's what I'm saying with this team. It's like we got to put it all together. We can't keep having these inconsistencies. It's all about finishing, playing 60 minutes. Like a lot of those catches and things of that nature, if you go back and look at it, like the one with Zacchaeus, he's looking upfield to see where he's going to run with the ball before he actually catches it. That's mental. A lot of this stuff, even the Calvin Ridley stuff, it's mental. Like, forget what we're saying, forget what the naysayers are saying, and prove us wrong. Like Mike is saying, if you want to get paid, like Dante Fowler came out with those 2 sacks, everybody's like he's trash last year. It's up to you to go out there on the field and play with a chip on your shoulder and prove everybody wrong. If Calvin Ridley want that money, he going to break his neck across the middle to make that catch. And like Mike said, you need your leaders. Like you seen Matt Ryan today. He was laser focused, laser sharp. It's not really much I can say negative about the way that Matt Ryan played. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, he did everything in this game. If you see when they gave that final touchdown, Matt Ryan was like holding his head down like, let me go get my helmet and let me see if I can be, Superman and try to save the day again. But it's like when it comes down to it, the players have to make the plays. It's that simple. It ain't much we can say in this post-game show because it's just like the plays were there to be made. We just didn't make them. Listen to the post-game press conferences and listen to the press conferences this week. It's going to be a lot of we gotta take care of our ops. You hear Deion Jones saying that all the time. There's opportunities out there, but you got to capitalize on them. Like when the Redskins or the Washington football team, when those plays were there to be made, they made them. As much as I want to get on Taylor Heineke for didn't play a great game, when they needed him to make the plays, like on that last play, that was all improvising. If you heard Mark Sanchez, he basically was just like, Taylor Heineke's a great street football player because he's just out there like he's in the backyard and scrambling around making stuff happen. And that's why I don't give Deion Jones that excuse. When you're one-on-one with the running back, you got to make that tackle. Like, because he was the last line of defense. It's no excuse. Like, if you don't make that tackle, we see what happened. He was able to easily waltz down the field and score a touchdown. If he makes that tackle right there, they're still like 20 yards away from the end zone. So who knows what happens? Maybe we have a defensive stand, but that was just too easy. Once he caught that ball, it was nobody in sight. Everybody was in man coverage. Nobody was on that side of the field. So you got to make the plays when they're there to be made. I mean, it ain't much else we can say. It's like we just didn't capitalize. Like we got to give them the credit because what do you always hear coaches say? Coach speak. The other team made the plays when they were there to be made. We didn't. We had our opportunities and we let them slip through our hands, just like a lot of those footballs. They were in our guys' hands because even that, if you go back and look at that last play where Calvin Ridley caught it over the middle, he almost dropped that one. He was fumbling the ball with that one, and they were just, if you've seen the players, I think it was Collins, he swatted at the ball at the end. He was already down, but at that point, it was in Calvin Ridley's hands. Like, they're like,
he needs some glasses. Maybe he cross-eyed or something. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he cross-eyed and he needs to get some LASIK surgery or something.
Hey, I'm about to say one thing about this game, too, is you saw at least 6 throws go 25 yards or more from Matt Ryan. 3 of those went for pass interference calls. 1 went for a touchdown, and another one was dropped by Calvin Ridley. At least 5.
Hey, let me point this out though. I think this has to be pointed out, and I will be shocked if this doesn't get addressed, and it has to get addressed fast. But before that, Iceman, Washington never lost momentum in the second half when Carter scored that touchdown. That was a key point. That was a key point during the I don't agree with them not losing momentum. I just think that again, like Heineke, he like I said, he wasn't great. He threw a lot of terrible passes that just should have been picked off. There's no like I said, when you give any player in the NFL extra opportunities, they're going to make plays. You can't continue to get Terry McLaurin extra plays to be a start. You cannot do it. So I understand that Heineke ended up getting, he made some plays, but he only made plays because we didn't make plays. If you feel what I'm saying, like stars have to close. If Dante Fowler, it was 2 sacks in the fourth quarter. He missed both of them. That wasn't because Heineke was scrambling. He just didn't finish the tackle. Deion didn't finish the tackle. Eric Harris dropped 2 interceptions. All of this is in the second. I think it was like towards the end of the third and the fourth quarter. He dropped 2. Like, this is crunch time. So when it all comes down to it, yes, Washington did have momentum, but they only had momentum because, you know, we just did not do what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? And I like this has to be addressed right now, and we're gonna go further in depth with that tomorrow with the Cooler Talk with K Styles, but Tyler Davis was absolute shit. That dude played like I don't. This man had one-on-one opportunities and he was getting bullied. He wasn't getting double teamed. Grady was getting double teamed. He K-Style, please talk to him because I can't. Go
remember, Tyler Davidson is supposed to be your run stopper on defense.
That's his only job.
What the hell run stopping was we seeing? Just to be honest with you. Tyler Davis is better suited to be on the reboot of Fuller House. Goddamn it, that's how bad he played. But like I said, Javon Estrada came with a $4.99 super chat. He said, "Leaving the game pissed, man. Should have never left the foot off the gas." Arthur failed. Calvin can't catch anything contested. Like I said, everything that come down to this game was at the end of the day. We needed multiple people to come up with stops, come up with plays, do whatever they need to do to put their stamp on this game, and nobody showed up. Like I said, the thing about it is, if you like I said, we're gonna look more into this game tomorrow. Because right now, y'all just getting emotion of us losing right now. So a lot of us is kind of like, really, what the just happened?
Man.
Let me get to the $5 super chat. Let me see. Cordero, White, Jones, Turner, Hester, our best player, period. How do you not have him out there on the last two drives? The problem is with Cordero Patterson is, like I said, I would have rather had him out there on the last couple drives. But the thing is, you don't want to tax him like that to where he's gonna have all those unnecessary hits on him later in the season. But in situations like that where Mike Davis is not running the ball well, like I said, I would have felt like I would have gave Wayne Gallman a little bit more carries in the second half, because what he has shown was even though, like I said, it was only a few carries, he's shown a burst. I think what the issue with Mike Davis is Mike Davis is looking for the contact instead of trying to make the plays that's there for him. He's looking for that contact. He's trying to live up to that reputation of him breaking all those tackles. Don't mind me. I'm just plugging some shit up. I'm just plugging my life away because this shit was crazy. But I think that's what Mike Davis' problem is. He's looking for the contact instead of looking for the play, looking for the right play. So that's why Mike Davis hasn't really been effective like that. Like I said, we saw Wayne Gallman today. Like I said, this would be a perfect opportunity to get that three-headed monster going. Like you said, you can start Mike Davis, but get all three of these backs involved. Because Wayne Gallman, I saw a burst, I saw vision, I saw a guy that was looking to make that play, get to that hole, try to get to the second level. Like I said, we saw that with Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson is an X factor in himself. Mike Davis, like I said, the main thing about Mike Davis right now is he's looking for the contact instead of looking for the right play.
Just make the play.
Right.
You gotta have awareness at the end of the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to being a tough guy. I think Mike Davis gets too caught up in being a tough guy instead of a football player. At the end of the day, you gotta make the proper play. And I think he seeks too much contact, trying to be the tough guy. And at the end of the day, man, I keep saying this. But and it's something that I typically don't do. But I just got to say, I'm like, if there's one person that I'm really extremely disappointed is Calvin Ridley. Today was just this is one of the worst games I've ever seen our receivers ever have. I've never seen a guy with that much talent. He's so scared of every bit of contact. All you have to do is stick your hand out and he will run backwards. This dude is terrified. As a coach, how do you even feel comfortable throwing the ball his way, calling plays for him? I don't know what else Arthur could do to him. I really don't know what you could do. I have no clue because everybody making plays. I don't expect OZ. I expect him to drop balls like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't expect that out of Calvin Ridley. I don't expect Matt Ryan to, do foolishness. I expect Matt Ryan to do what he does. But Calvin Ridley, you're that number one guy. You played like an absolute chump. I can deal with missed tackles. I can deal with one drop pass. But Calvin Ridley looked like he don't want no parts of playing football. That's what I'm most disappointed in right there. Everybody else can make mistakes. When you look like you're afraid to play, I don't want you on my team. I want him out. I don't want Calvin Ridley on my team. I'm seeking a trade as I'm talking right now. I'm getting rid of him because he's playing like a straight up coward. You can't have that. You can't preach. We're going to be tough and go ahead and get the super chat. But he playing like a straight up sucker. He's scared of everything.
So here's my question, though. But before I get to the question, I'm going to get to this $10 super chat from Matty Ghost. He said Arthur Smith didn't account for the injury we had to Oliver and a lack of pass rush. That's the only flawed coaching I saw. Fowler bust, Davison bust, Means bust. Jared must be like, damn, what the fuck is y'all doing? I mean, the way the defense played today, it was really like, Bubba, what the fuck was y'all doing today? I mean, I'm just saying. So, but this is gonna go into my question. And appreciate J. Dot, the OG, for the 99-cent.
99.
Appreciate that, homie. So this is gonna be my question, and I've been asking this question the last couple weeks about Calvin Ridley. Is it that Calvin Ridley is scared to take the responsibility of the number one? Is that really what the issue is?
I don't think so.
Or is it the fact
he's a coward? I'm just gonna come out and say he's a straight up coward. He don't want no parts of being a football player. He want to be pretty. That's his problem. We need football players. I don't care about him being able to run routes and all that stuff. The way he's playing like a coward. Go ahead, Jude.
Yeah. Where were you going with it, K Styles? He was about to say something else. What was you about to say?
Because I was gonna ask, like, because like I looked at, like I said, Calvin Ridley had 80 yards on 7 catches today. But the issue is, do you feel like at the rate that is going right now, excuse me, all the drinks I had today, I had to burp that one out right quick. But like I said, I'm just going off of what Mike's saying here about Calvin Ridley. Do you feel like Calvin Ridley is missing Julio Jones a lot more than what they putting out to be?
That had nothing to do with Julio. Go ahead.
Nah, I just think with Calvin Ridley, it's all mental. It's mental. The reason I say it's mental, look at a guy like Jamar Chase in the preseason who was dropping everything. They was looking for every reason to get this man. Like, why was he dropping the football? This man said that he couldn't catch the football because it don't have the white rings around it like college footballs have around it. Like, he was trying to come up with any excuse because it was just mental. Like, when the regular season kicked in, Jamar Chase is balling. What it's going to really take for Calvin Ridley to get over his fear of getting hit is getting his bell rung. That's what my dad used to talk about. Like when you play Pee Wee football, you just got to get your bell rung. You just got to get a concussion or see stars for a second and survive it. Like if you get that one big hit and you get up from it, you shake it off, you'll be okay. I think his biggest thing is he's afraid. Like Mike said, he's just, I don't want to call the man a coward, but he's playing like a coward. He's being afraid. He's afraid to get hit. Like when you see a guy catch a pass and every time he catches the pass, he goes horizontal. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the one play where he had the stop route. Yeah. He caught the ball at 8 yards and literally ran out of bounds when he could have scampered up and tried to get the 2 yards. He literally caught it on third and, I think it was second and 8. No, it was second and 10. He caught the ball for 8 yards and ran out of bounds.
Yep.
Like on a play like that, turn it upfield. Like anytime he catches a crossing route, he never turns upfield. He keeps running horizontal. That shows you that he's afraid to get hit and that he doesn't want to get hit. So that's the plays that we're talking about. Like you can see the difference between every other player. When Kyle Pitts and even when Tarjay Sharp, I think Tarjay Sharp had a really good game. And I love Arthur Smith's play calling in this game because I talked about it a little bit in my pre-game show about how the Washington football team likes to play man-to-man coverage. So I thought there would be a lot of opportunities for slant patterns and stuff like that. And if you've seen early in the game, Matt Ryan was throwing a lot of slants, especially to Pitts and to Tarjay Sharp. He was throwing it across the middle, throwing it across the middle. The difference between, if you look at Sharp, if you look at Zacchaeus, and even if you look at Kyle Pitts, when they go across the middle, they know that they're going to get hit, but they're just accepting the fact that I'm going to get hit. They know it. And that's what Calvin Ridley got to get over, that fear of when I catch the ball, I'm going to get hit. My thing is this. If you know you're going to get hit, catch the ball and brace up. Brace. If you're scared that you're going to get hurt, catch the ball and go down. Even go down with the ball. If you catch it and you don't want to get hit, don't run sideways. Catch the ball where you at and just lay down. You better off doing that than running sideways, because once you run sideways, the defense knows mentally he's afraid. And that's the problem. The defense knows he's afraid. And even his teammates, they can see it. He's afraid. And you don't ever want to show fear in a game, especially like football, where they're trying to intimidate you. That's what I was talking about. Every time Calvin Ridley catch the ball, they don't even try to tackle him. They just go to try to rip the ball out because they know he's bracing up and he's afraid. So at this point, he just got to get his bell rung. I think if he get hit across the middle one good time and he survives that big hit across the middle, he'll get over the fear of being hit. But because Julio Jones was that guy who was always taking those hits and growing across the middle, Calvin Ridley got spoiled. Like, I think one thing that we took for granted as Falcons fans, when Julio Jones was here, he was kind of the guy that was doing that dirty work, and Ridley was scoring all of the touchdowns. But Julio was that guy on third and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 8. He was going to go across the middle and take that post route and take the big hit because he wasn't afraid. Yeah, he might have went out of the game after, a 3rd and long or after picking up the yardage, but he was willing to put his body on the line. And that may be a reason why Julio Jones' body started to break down, because Julio took some big hits when he was here in Atlanta, and we kind of overlooked it because Calvin Ridley was that race car on the outside. He was the Lamborghini going, opening up the defense, going deep, catching all of the deep routes, and he didn't have to deal with, the high collision that Julio Jones was dealing with. But now as the number one guy, we're saying on 3rd and 8, you got to be the guy that's going to have to do those things that Julio Jones used to do. That's the part of being a number one receiver, and that's kind of what Mike was talking about. You got to be willing to pick up the pieces. You got to be willing. Whatever we need you to do, if you're the number one guy, you got to do whatever the team needs. You got to do whatever we need. So if it's 3rd and 2 and we send you across the middle and the middle linebacker sitting there, you got to be willing to take it on the chin for the team. Because how many times have we seen Matt Ryan standing there knowing he's going to take a big hit and still deliver the football? He does it all the time. He did it times in this game where he knew Chase Young is finna blow me up, but I'm going to stand in the pocket and try to make this accurate throw, even though I know I'm about to get blown up. So Calvin really just got to get used to it. You put your body on the line. You're going to have to sacrifice for the team at the end of the day.
Hey, look, Jew, I'm about to say you just basically just made my point correctly right there. When you think about it, like you said, the issue and when you said where he need to go down if he's scared, if he don't want to get hit, he'll remember Julian Edelman made a career out of this.
The whole Patriots wide receiver corps, Amendola, all of them dudes is little.
Troy Brown, Deion Branch, all them boys made
David
a whole
Patton,
career out of this.
All of them.
I was just gonna say this: every receiver wants to be the number one wide receiver. They all want the targets. Let's be real. Calvin just not physical enough. He doesn't want to play physical to go and make those contested catches, those catches across the middle. He's just not that guy. At the end of the day, what is his fifth year now? Fourth, I believe.
Fourth year.
Yeah,
Fifth year. I believe it's his fifth year.
All right, so he was spoiled back. He was spoiled back in college. He was wide open when he would catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He was spoiled. He spoiled up until this season with Julio making all those catches. Now it's his turn, and he is not that guy. He's showing us he just isn't that guy. And at the end of the day, coaches got to realize who he is, because back 15, 20 years ago, he wouldn't be on the team. You really scared to catch the ball across the middle. You're really scared to go and make up those contested catches. There's plenty of speed guys that didn't make teams because they couldn't do that. We're in 2021 now. You're expected to be quick and agile, but you're also expected to make those contested catches. So at the end of the day, he's got a lot of strides to make here before the end of the season if we think about re-signing into another contract, because at the end of the day, he just isn't holding up his end.
At the end of the day, like I said this before, and I know I'm well overreaching. I could damn sure be well overreaching, and quite frankly, I think I am. But at the end of the day, I don't want cowards on my team. I don't want guys who are afraid of contact. And like I said, he can be a Pro Bowl player for someone else. I don't want that attitude, which is right when you're building a team. I want guys that are going to be tough. I want guys who are going to give up, because it's going to come that one play during whether it's the playoffs or just a regular game where you need that one play that sets to get that win. And if he's afraid to get the first down, or he's afraid to get into the end zone because he's looking backwards or looking side, I don't want that. I want guys that I know is going to put their body on the line. Calvin is not that. And like I said before, I've already stated this. He is not that receiver for Arthur Smith offense. Been saying that since before he even coached one game. When you look at how Arthur calls his game, he likes his receiver to be physical. And Calvin just isn't that. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to be real. I fully expect the Falcons to be shopping him during the draft in the offseason. I just don't think I think he's going to have a terrific career, but I just don't think he's the guy for Arthur Smith. And that's what it really comes down to. He needs guys that's going to be big. They're going to catch those balls over the middle. They're going to get there, fight for those extra yards. And Calvin just doesn't want that. Yes, he can improve. There's always room of improvement. But after 4 games and you're still doing the same thing, it's hard for me to say that he's going to change.
Yeah. Did you guys see?
My bad. I just want to get this. I want to get this out of the way right quick. But everybody's saying about Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is averaging less than 10 yards of reception. Let's just remember.
Wow. That's tight end. And I'm not going to understand that number. Those are tight end numbers.
Yep. There's no run after catch there. Yo, I was just gonna point out, if you guys had seen Kyle Pitts fighting for those extra yards, I believe it was a 3rd down, but the way he just bowed up, try to drive the defender past that 1st down yardage. That's the type of stuff that we've come to expect from our number 1 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley has never done that. Not once.
Right. Yeah. I was about to say the rate that is looking right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they resign Hayden Hurst. I wouldn't be surprised, because he would be a lot cheaper than Calvin Ridley. But think about what I just said there. Before today's game, Calvin Ridley was averaging 8 yards of reception. If your number, like I said, if your number 1 receiver is averaging 8 yards of reception, like I said, that kind of tells the defense a lot as far as what they need to look for.
Yeah.
Let me just say this real quick. This comment, stop it, Mike. He's good. You have no right to call him no one a coward. You can't do half what he's doing. I actually played, so yeah, I can. But at the end of the day, it's not even about that. When you are a football player, this ain't about me. This is not about me and calling him out. A football player will call you out for what you are. And if you actually been on the field and you've seen people, they will call you a coward. They don't want you on the field. They don't want it. They want you to be able to step in the pocket and put your body on the line just like a quarterback will, just like those offensive linemen. Look, these guys taping up their knees, their fingers all crooked, and you out here just catching balls and you scared to go, like you scared to go forward. They're not asking for you to do much. Just do your job. And if you are half-stepping and you costing this team yards and first downs because you're afraid, that's what it is. You're playing like a coward. You playing like a coward. There's no way around it. If you're afraid as a football player of contact, what else do you call it? I don't know what you call it.
You're in the wrong sport. You're afraid of contact playing football.
Mm-hmm.
It's demoralizing to the team, really. That's what it is. Your number one players out there scared of contact. That's demoralizing. What are you going? That's supposed to be your star player.
Right. Like you said, because the thing is, he is not so much as calling him a coward as far as a football player, but you have to look at what he's seeing, what we're seeing on when we're watching the game. Like I said, the thing about it is, people look at these games and they see these players, certain players, and how they react to certain situations. Like I said, we saw it in the Giants game last week when it came down to when it came down to third downs, and Matt Ryan was looking for Calvin Ridley to make those plays, and he plopped before the first down line or it dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not so much as calling a coward if you say he can't. It's not so much as calling him a coward just because of what he can and can't do. It's just what other players in the league are looking at him as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what we're kind of going down to. It's
not even the league, man. It's his locker room is going to be seeing it. They see it. They see it, and that's the problem.
Because if you know, like I said, because if you notice, like, because if you think about it, we done went through 4 games already. Calvin Ridley has 28 receptions for 256 yards. Now, you may say, well, the play calling doesn't pertain to him really getting big yardage like that. This is what Mike is saying as far as Calvin Ridley might not be a fit for the type of offensive calls that they like to do with Arthur Smith. Like I said, he's used to bigger body receivers. He's used to guys that's fighting for those yards.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. That's why you saw a little bit more Hayden Hurst involved in this game today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you saw Hayden Hurst get a few plays in here. Hold on. We got a $9.99 super chat from Anthony Reynolds. He said, Ridley's looking like a number 2 receiver. Maybe that's what he really is. Falcons may have to look for another receiver in the draft. Ridley prove us wrong then. And that's the thing. Like I said, we're not hoping that he doesn't get better. We want him to get better. But the thing is, you have to prove that if you want that wide receiver 1 attention and contract, you have to live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, this ain't like Calvin Ridley is a top 10 pick wide receiver. He was at the end of the first round, so it wasn't, like I said, a lot of teams passed on him for a reason. But the thing is, Calvin Ridley has the skills to be a number 1. Juice said it earlier. It's all about the mentality. There's a big difference between being wide receiver 1 and 2. Ask Juju Smith-Schuster. Everybody thought Juju Smith was going to be the next breakout wide receiver star in the NFL. Antonio Brown left. Juju Smith is number 4 on the depth chart.
Mm-hmm. And he's
This
playing
is
that Calvin Ridley role. He's playing that soft guy role, the pretty guy role. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to be a number one. Number one receivers has absolutely no weakness.
I wouldn't even say they don't have. I wouldn't even say they have.
I don't know. Let me explain. The reason why I say that is because number one guys, you don't have to worry about them not fighting for the first down. You don't have to worry about them going over the middle. You don't have to worry about those guys going up for jump balls. Calvin really doesn't fight for extra yards. He doesn't go up for jump balls. And we saw that today. He dropped. He got up. He didn't come down with another opportunity. These are the things that we're talking about because he's afraid of contact. You're playing like a coward. So in order for you to get that next contract, because I'm telling you right now, they shipping him. Arthur already seen what he need to know. There's no way if you're a play caller and you calling plays for a guy that's supposed to be your number one and he's not making the plays. We need him to make the play. We need him to win those jump balls. I'm seeing Kyle Pitts doing that. I'm seeing him catching the ball behind his back. I'm seeing him trying to go up and taking big hits over the middle. I'm seeing that for him already. I'm not seeing that for Calvin Ridley. So I already know what he is. He's not getting that next big contract.
Not here.
I'm just here to tell you that. Like I said, right now, he's not getting that. But if he continues down this road, he's not gonna get it. But if he gets better, and somehow he's like, look, man, I gotta make a change. I gotta get tougher. I gotta improve. If he can do that, he's gonna get that money. But the way he's playing right now, he's playing like a coward. There's no other. I cannot sugarcoat it. When you see somebody running away from another guy, and you like, let's just be honest. I'm gonna just make this comparison. Everybody say Floyd Mayweather is probably what? He's a good boxer, but the style of fighting that he uses is scary, man. All he does is hit and run. That's not boxing. That's not the boxing that we know. We use a guy slugging it out. Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler slugging it out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we used to. That's not the football that we know what we're seeing with Calvin Ridley. We need that from him.
So when it comes, and like I said, I've kind of addressed this earlier. I heard somebody say something about why we haven't really gotten on Mike Davis like that. I've already addressed that earlier. Like I said, we said the main issue with Mike Davis is he looks for more contact than he does for looking for plays. That's where why he's struggling. He wants to get hit. He's going down the TJ Duckett. That's why TJ Duckett fell in decline later, like later in his Atlanta Falcons career, because he was looking for more contact than actually making plays.
Absolutely.
All right, but we got a $4.99 super chat from Gene Batten. He said, "I think they should make Pitts the number one and play Hurst at tight end." And like I said, eventually you might see that. Don't be surprised. And like I said, even with that, do not be surprised if y'all see more Felipe Franks on this field as a gadget guy.
Don't be surprised to see Frank Darby in that lineup real soon. If when Russell Gage come back, that physical receiver, we need that physicality because at this point in time, we know we can't count on Calvin Ridley to be that. You know what I'm saying?
Because I think Frank Darby might be the spark plug this wide receiver core really needs.
Yes.
As much as we kind of like maybe don't know 6th round pick, whatever. And I know we talk about well, he's he's so hype and stuff in the preseason. Maybe Frank Darby might be that type of guy this offense needs because they need some. The wide receiving room needs that one guy that has like that energy to go and be like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it."
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe Darby might be that guy.
They need that. They need that guy. And on the front, I honestly think that's what it is.
Yeah, they need because, like you said, Alameda Zaccheaus, he had one of those. He had a good game against the Giants. He had a bad game today. We don't have consistency in that wide receiver core, but this is the issue why we say that wide receiver core is kind of an issue because you don't really have guys like that can really be consistent. We have a lot of small guys. We have a lot of small. We have a lot of small-minded guys. There's a difference. We got a lot of small-minded guys, and like you said, as small as Russell Gage is tough as hell. He looked like Mike. He looked like Mike half the time, but he's tough as hell.
Oh, you say I'm not tough? Oh,
I didn't say you ain't tough. I said he look like your ass. I said he's tough. Motherfucker, don't be trying to twist my words around. No, but the thing is, like I said, that's why I meant to say tough-minded because Russell Gage is not a big receiver, but he's tough-minded. He's willing to make those type of catches when he'll drop a couple, but he'll drop less than he'll catch. So we're gonna have to wait and see. And this is why I'm kind of like I said, Frank Darby might be that guy they need.
Yeah.
Because Alameda Zaccheaus dropping that wide open out, that 15-yard out route against that zone coverage was very disheartening to me. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all.
That's another momentum killer. You can't have those types of things. Like,
cause that's the thing.
Like it was one thing when OZ dropped the one across the middle. That's one thing. He's a smaller guy. That's like last week's game when he caught it across the middle. That was a huge play for us. When he dropped it across the middle this time, wasn't that big of a surprise. But the one on the outside, he was wide open. You got to come down with that ball. There's no excuse for it at all.
Right.
But I was just saying, like, as far as size goes, there's a reason why number one receivers tend to be on the bigger side.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You got to be, because like I said, if we look at the number one wide receiver, the responsibilities for a number one wide receiver is usually to not only gain the attention, but you got to be able to execute under that attention. You got to be able to fight for that extra yards. You got to be able to set the tone. You got to be able to get in the end zone. You got to be able to block. You got to be able to do the little things. And like I said, a lot of people may say, "Oh, we're paying too much attention to Calvin Ridley," but when you have a number one receiver who's not really doing all those responsibilities as a number one, now it becomes an issue. This is why I'm gonna use an example. I'm gonna use Phillip Rivers as an example in his San Diego days.
I'm from San Diego, so tread careful.
No. I'm gonna say it like this. Vincent Jackson in San Diego, he was on his way to being the number one. But before Vincent Jackson, who was their number one receiver outside Antonio Gates and LaDainian Thompson?
Shit, them names are flying by me right now. I can't grab one.
Of course, they didn't have one. Two. When Jay Cutler was in Chicago, who was their number one receiver at the time?
Jay Cutler in Chicago, they didn't really have one in.
Two. Lamar Jackson. last year. Who was their number one receiver in Baltimore?
AB Hollywood.
Don't count because he didn't put up number one receiver numbers. but what I'm saying is, true number one receivers have to take on that responsibility of being the vocal point of the defense and open it up for the other guys. But you have to be tough enough to be like, okay, they got the attention on me. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get my shit in here, plain and simple. Like I said, I talked about Julio Jones being gone from Atlanta. And I said it before. It was a blessing in disguise because it did two things. For right now, it's done two things. One thing, it helped the salary cap to sign a rookie class. And it's showing that Calvin Ridley might not be that number one. So by getting Kyle Pitts, he has been the ultimate insurance policy. If you look at the numbers, Calvin Ridley has about 70 more yards than Kyle Pitts. That's it. 70, not 170, 70.
I stick to what I'm saying, and I'm probably the only person that said this. The Falcons are already looking to shop Calvin Ridley. I just don't think he's the guy in this offense. I want him to be that guy, but just the way that the offense is run, we don't need a lot of receivers to be that deep threat. I think you can get those deep threats in free agency. You can get a guy like a Taylor Gabriel, just an example of a Taylor Gabriel, a guy that can get the ball downfield. You can make plays with a guy with Hayden Hurst and Kyle Pitts. I've seen the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they've went through so many wide receivers. They've got wide receivers in the second and third round, and they just got Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? So they've made changes in their wide receiver core, and you can still put up those numbers. But even in the second round, I believe Justin Jefferson was drafted in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get receivers in the first and second round. The Falcons have two second rounders. So it's not out of the possibility that you could see the Falcons move on because he's gonna a lot of money. Calvin Ridley gonna get paid. And they could easily franchise tag him, shop him, see what the team can get out of him. And you got Cordero Patterson, who looks like he's a terrific player for Arthur Smith. You got Kyle Pitts really starting to come on right now. You can sign Hayden Hurst for from between $7 and $10 million, and that's cheap for a tight end, to be honest. And you can kind of roll with it and get a bunch of other players. So I just don't think that Calvin Ridley, I'm just not giving him $120 million because that's where he's gonna go. I'm sorry. I'm just not giving him that.
Hold on. I want to get this comment beforehand that I had up here by Connie Sterling. She was talking about Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Antonio Brown, Jerry Rice aren't big receivers. She was saying big receivers, but the issue is you have to look at the schemes that they was running. Like I said, Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne were literally running hooks and literally running hook routes on the outside at all times. See, they was the 1-2 punch. See, you couldn't double team one and leave the other one open. That's a difference. And they kept them guys around a long time. Now, Reggie Wayne, when Marvin Harrison retired, you saw Reggie Wayne's number go down just a little bit enough. But you also have to remember, they had Dallas. Well, when Reggie Wayne got there, you started seeing a Brandon Stoke, or you start seeing a Dallas Clark being more involved in the offense. So it was running plays that is situated what they did best, and that was running hook routes and outside hitch routes. They'll run them comeback routes. And Antonio Brown, shit, they Antonio Brown was a monster. Like you said, it's all about the mentality. You got to have the mentality. You got to have the mentality.
Nobody would think Wes Welker and Edelman are like big guys, but they play like big guys. We're talking about that, like y'all getting too caught up in just the physical stature. Like it's yes, they're looking for guys in the NFL. You're looking for guys like who's built like Julio, who's built like DK Metcalf. Like you looking for those types of guys.
Right.
But a lot of those smaller receivers is not like what his name? Tony from the Giants, the small guy. Like you're not seeing these guys being drafted in the first round.
Yeah, look, I'm about to say one of the perfect little man wide receivers of all time was Steve Smith. That's the perfect example of a mentality receiver you want. Small as hell. He didn't give a fuck. That's what you want.
It's all about upstairs, your mentality, and your heart. If you don't have it, it's it.
That's what you want. And like I said, as Falcon fans, we remember Steve Smith killing the Falcons. I would not say, like I said, Deshaun Jackson was okay, but we're talking about getting tough yardage. We talking about beating it deep, like the complete receiver. Steve Smith is the type of guy, if you're looking at small receivers, you're looking at a mentality. And Steve Smith had that mentality. But but like I said, that's what we look for. That's what fans want to look for in their wide receivers. That's actually what they want to look for in their players. Like I said, you ain't got to be the biggest guy on the field. You, like I said, Julio is an anomaly. 6'3", 230 pounds, and motherfucking running like a freight train. That's an anomaly.
It's about the heart, bro.
Right. And like I said, that's what makes fans gravitate to players. Is all about the heart. It's all about, okay, I'm going to try. Like I said, you don't always have to come down with the play at the necessary moment, but it's all about, are you going to try? Hold on. Terry Lloyd said with the $10 super chat, he said, I know you don't want to burn Cordell Patterson, but if you don't win, no, you won't have to worry about later in the season. Hey, I'm about to say, I'm not going to say that right now. Like I said, I know what you're saying, but we're not going to worry about that. Like I said, if the Falcons beat the Jets in London, for God's sake, I got to wake up early in the morning for this. Well, I'll probably be up anyway. But baby girl, she going to wake me up about 6 o'clock in the morning. So, but like I said, that the next 2 games, which is the Jets and the Dolphins, you got to win those 2 games. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you don't win these 2 games, the season is pretty much going to be in the question mark right now. But like I said, at these moments like this right now, it's all about who wants it. That's going to be the 3-word phrase for this week. Who wants it? Like I said, we saw Jalen Mayfield take a stride from week 1 where everybody thought he was absolute garbage. And these last 3 weeks, he done moved up, and it looks like he ain't moving from that left guard spot no time soon. Like I said, we ain't got, like I said, the Jets and the Dolphins, we ain't got no damn excuses to be losing to these 2 teams. We ain't had no damn excuse to be losing to this team. But at the end of the day, like I said, whoever wants it, they're going to make the plays. And we didn't talk about Eric Harris going down on that play in the 4th quarter to where he was out for the rest of the 4th quarter. But at the end of the day, this game came down to the Falcons didn't make plays like they didn't make the plays when it was presented to them, offensively or defensively or special teams wise. But Yeah, the main thing is why we're focusing on Calvin Ridley. Oh, and we're gonna talk about the bad calls by the refs later too. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it in a few minutes. But like I said, we're just focusing on the players. We got to do better. We got to show heart. We got to show the mentality that we want to close consistently. Not one game, but we got to do it for 7. Well, 1 and 3. We got to do it for 13 more games for 60 minutes.
I got one. I got some here. We had Marlon Davidson out today, and JTM was a healthy scratch. Now, I had Taquan Graham and AO picking up those extra snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell were they? I know they're young and they're rookies, but I didn't see any play. I didn't really see anything from them today either. The entire defensive line, besides Grady and Fowler, on those 2 missed opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
they were. I couldn't find them.
Like I said, the issue was, if you looked at the Washington game plan, was, I'm gonna just say it like this. The real issue was it was the interior of the defensive line wasn't getting no pressure. This is why you didn't really see those guys really making no type of impacts. Like I was saying, this is why we say like I said, Grady Jarrett getting double teamed. He made a couple plays, but this is why that second interior defensive lineman. This is why we're waiting on.
Yeah. Davidson being out, I think, was bigger than we realized going into the game.
He said,
I didn't realize it was going to be that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, he's a monster up there, but I mean, I think his snap count's right around 20, 25 the last few weeks, and I think we really missed those today.
I'm about to say, this will be one of those situations where you might see a Mike Pennell Jr. coming up sooner than you think, because they're going to need somebody that's kind of bigger to do what they got to help that defensive line, because ain't no way in hell that Tyler Davidson is supposed to be your main run stopper, and I don't see him stopping no damn runs.
Yeah, that was a big deal today. No pressure up front. Shit.
No pressure up front.
Was new, right?
So really what it comes down to at the end of the day, hey, this is one of them games. Like I said, I keep saying this again. This is one of these games where you didn't make the plays like you needed to, and it cost you the game. Like I said, that first drive, when they went 15 plays, took off 8 minutes of the clock, and only got a field goal out of it, came back to bite us in the ass. And like I said, that's just one of those situations to where you don't think about it as the game goes on until the final score is over. Like, damn, if we would have scored a touchdown there instead of gotten a field goal, now that would have put more pressure on Washington to score a touchdown. Instead, by only having them 3 points, now Washington doesn't have the pressure like that. We got a few super chats here we got to get to. Jason Gardner came in and said, who can they add defensively this year to get it right? Like I said, they got a couple guys on practice squad right now, like I said, that should be able to help. Because the thing about the Falcons defensive line is they need some big guys on there. Like I said, hey, because like, if you actually look at the Falcons defensive line, we're really undersized if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see Kaminsky getting there. I believe I don't think I saw him get any defensive snaps. Kept him on the special teams.
Yeah, he was special teams. I see. The thing is, I don't think Kaminsky has earned the trust of Dean Pease and this defensive coaching staff to really get some playing time. I guess they don't see anything.
Yeah, I mean, he only got 2 defensive snaps this year. That was in week 1. One of those plays, he just got blown 5 yards off the ball in that combo block touchdown untouched. So obviously he isn't doing that much in practice either, because I don't think he would have seen the field if we didn't have Marlon Davidson out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I think Mike Pennell. I think, like I said, once they bring Mike Pennell,
I thought it would have been this week because of the injury.
I think because you gotta think, bringing in somebody a week, you still gotta give them a couple weeks into the system so they can learn and know nuances and stuff like that. So this Jets game would be the perfect opportunity to bring out Mike Pennell Jr. Whatever the fuck he calls himself, but it's just Mike Pennell. But you need size on that defensive line. This defensive line, like Grady Jarrett is really the biggest guy on this defensive line. He's 302, something like that.
Yeah, and he's considered undersized.
And he's undersized being 5'11. So that's crazy. But Los Falcon came with the $5 super chat. He said mistakes like a Jerry Springer paternity test. I said heart wins games. That's all it comes down to. You gotta have the mentality to win these type of games, regardless of any situation. I thought I saw a couple more super chats, but what he said, I should have addressed it and said it wasn't. I'm about to say, BCJ, what you talking about? Well, I should have addressed what? Just see what you talking about. Them folks thought you got hacked, Mike.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, I apologize, everybody, but I gotta cut the stream short because I think we've been hacked. So I gotta cut this short. I can't keep going. So I apologize. But we definitely been hacked, and I don't want anything else to happen, but something just isn't right. So we apologize. But I gotta cut it. I gotta cut the stream short to kind of protect the platform. So with that being said, everybody kind of as a matter of fact, like I said, I apologize, but I gotta cut it short. All right. I gotta cut it short.
All right. So